Isn't that fantastic? That's the new single Shut Off the Lights from Bastille, and I'm really delighted that Chris Woody Wood from the band is on the line now. Welcome to the afternoon show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
How you doing?
really good. And actually sort of doing a bit of bad dancing with nobody looking in the studio to that, because it's very danceable. I think there's a whole lot going on there, actually, because I think there's a wee bit of, I was getting a wee bit of a sort of Soweto rhythm vibe going on there too. Am I imagining that?
Yeah, I mean, it would not be a huge leap to suggest that we might be like casual fans of Paul Simon occasionally.
Yeah. Strangely, I have to tell you, I'm wearing my Paul Simon t-shirt today.
A very strong choice indeed.
There you go.
Very strong choice.
Yeah, no, it's terrific. And tell us a wee bit then about the album, because actually, because there we have something that's very upbeat, and right now we're all absolutely needing that. Our single of the week is from a talented Scottish singer-songwriter called C. Duncan, and he's absolutely embracing optimism and all of that too. Is that kind of the atmosphere, the sense of what you're exploring on the new record?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our previous album was somewhat prophetically called Doom Days, which that came out pre-pandemic, so that was a bit of a faux pas on our part. But no, this album's called Give Me the Future, and definitely, I mean, there's very upbeat moments on it. Like it wouldn't be a Bastille album without some sort of like dark, brooding,
of course,
depressing elements to it. But you need some light and shade. But no, I mean, that song especially, we're definitely very much looking forward to playing live on our upcoming tour in April.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I was just going to say, it's absolutely one of those ones that you immediately imagine everybody singing along to in a big venue. You know?
I mean, I hope so. It could be really awkward otherwise.
It could be tumbleweed moments. Interesting again to think about you, because so many people listening now, and a whole much younger generation, particularly because of the various lockdowns, have absolutely just been head down and getting on with it and creating music, on laptops and so on in their bedrooms. But it does take us sort of hurtling back to when you guys did it first time around. Did that mean though that you, because you're adept to all of that in terms of production, that meant with lockdowns and so on, you could just kind of get on with it?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the really fortunate position where we've got our own studio in South London, all good to go anyway. So even during kind of pandemic, like we were able to kind of stick to rules and like not go near each other, but still kind of be productive. But in fact, I'm actually speaking to you now from my home studio in the back garden, where I tracked some of the drums for the album, including that last song actually.
How fun. How popular is that with your neighbours?
It's pretty soundproof, and they're pretty tolerant, mercifully. But in fact, actually, are the drums for a Scottish artist as well called Honor, who's brilliant in here as well. So yeah, did a song called Kill TV here with him as well, which is brilliant. But yeah, we're quite adept at kind of writing on the road anyway and recording on the road. So doing it at home, I guess, made it weirdly a bit easier. Obviously, God, sorry.
No, I was going to say, we know that you guys you're deep thinkers. I mean, we get that from the lyrics. Apart from anything else, there's a sensitive soul there at the heart of things. But this, I was reading that you and the rest of the guys became intrigued by this, something I've not heard of, the concept of maladaptive daydreaming. So go on, tell us a wee bit about that and whether or not this did influence the album.
Oh God, Dan's throwing me under the bus there. That's very much Dan's little influence there. Gun to my head, I could lie to you if you like, or we could pretend I know what I'm talking about.
That's fine. Okay, we can sort of imagine. And do you know what? Our clever listeners will probably get in touch and go, "Come on, Janice, maladaptive daydreaming. You don't know about that." I'm imagining. Well, I don't want to imagine it. I won't pretend that I know, but I can maybe sort of guess what it's about. But look, tell us about the gigs that you've got lined up. Because we're saying just imagining that all of you back together. Has that been? I wonder, I'm trying to remember whether there were tours cancelled and what happened with your gigs over the last while.
We were relatively fortunate in that we were kind of out of campaign when the pandemic kind of kicked off. So we literally just rounded off the Doom Days campaign, and then we were going to take a year off anyway, and then the whole world had a year off. So yeah, we're kind of getting back to it now. We did a handful of shows last summer, like a few festivals, which were incredible, but also very surreal, having spent a year with everyone wearing masks and being told to avoid each other, to then seeing like 50,000 people just crashing into each other as if COVID wasn't a thing anymore. But no, it feels like there's a lot of kind of confidence coming back, and like people are buying tickets and getting excited. And as you said, like we need some like upbeat energy, and
Yeah.
just good times and things to look forward to, because culture's just taken a hell of a beating
Yeah.
these past couple of years. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, and all the, as we've been saying repeatedly in the show, and all the sort of infrastructure of crew and everybody else involved in making, whatever form of art and entertainment, it's been devastating for folk. So fingers crossed those people can start to be able to pay their bills again. And thinking of the gigs, so you've got some quite intimate gigs coming up, just as the album is launched, and one in Edinburgh and one in Dundee. Tell us a wee bit about those.
Yeah, so these are kind of based around the album launch, and it's just to kind of like get it out there. It's going to be very sort of stripped back and, as you say, intimate. So not kind of like a real reflection of what the full tour is going to be in April. But it's just a chance to kind of go out and kind of, I guess, interact with people again, which we've all been shut away for so long.
And is that something that you've done before? Rather than do go straight into the great big mega venues. Is that useful actually? We know that it's certainly true for solo artists to go and test their songs and so on. Is it part of a strategy or not?
Yeah, well, I mean, in fact, it's kind of loosely related to. So we're doing a gig for the Music Venue Trust later this week, where more name bands are going and playing venues that are at risk from closure, because obviously the sort of grassroots music scene across the whole UK is like so crucial to the whole kind of pyramid, and like without those clubs where people can go and learn their trade and cut their teeth, you don't get your Adele's, Ed Sheeran's, Lewis Capaldi's, whatever of the world. So yeah, I guess that also ties in, like and also we're getting to play places that we haven't ever actually played before. And actually the venue in Dundee, because my wife went to uni there, that's apparently her old stamping ground. So whether they still do snake bites for 50p or not, we'll soon find out.
Excellent. And those shows, I think you guys have got names for them, but don't tell me it's Dan and you don't know anything about it. Underplays or out shows?
Well, I mean, I wasn't sure if that was the internal things, but we're called the outstores. So normally we would do gigs actually in record shops.
Ah, right, okay.
Because of obviously distancing and also just the sort of level of interest, we can kind of sell more tickets and accommodate more people if we do these shows out of store.
Yes,
outstore.
And do you guys do much online interaction? Because clearly, during the lockdown, we saw various people really going for it, either doing gigs in their living rooms or just generally much more interaction with folk. Has that been the case with you?
Yeah, we've done well. So obviously, like Dan ran the Distraction Tactics Film Club for one. But as far as kind of like online gigs, we haven't done that. Well, we've done a handful of those, but it's not really like you couldn't really tour that way. And there's I'm looking at the WhatsApp from management as well. Things I can't say. There's a load of stuff coming imminently that's going to be very interesting in that world. But I will say no more. Just keep your eyes peeled.
Very good. We'll do that. Well, look, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us. We do love Bastille here in the afternoon show. And all the best to you and all the guys. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.